What was your worst birthday you had? In 2010, my best friend died on my birthday. This year, my mom died 5 days before my birthday. I'm so sorry. Thanks, man. Not sure if it's my worst, but it's definitely top 3. I was turning 9. I had saved my dollars up, wanting to buy myself a nice birthday present. Birthday was on a Saturday. My mother told me to give her my money so she could keep it safe. She went and gambled it on the pokers on Friday whilst I was at school. So I wake up on Saturday to no birthday presents and my money was gone too. That is so ducking shit. My heart breaks thinking of your little face that morning. Not having presents I was accustomed to. My mother was a junkie who never spent money on me, but there were tears when I found out my money was gone. I was a mess. The one where my parents were in the midst of a separation and everyone just kinda forgot about me. What, that sucks. Hope you're enjoying your adult life. My mom bought a goat on my 18th birthday and didn't get me anything. I'm sorry, but that's kind of funny. My dad was cremated on my 16th birthday. His death was sudden. No birthday since has felt right. I'm 60 this year. I'm really sorry. That sucks. My most recent one. I'm at college, and because of COVID I couldn't drive down to my family. Also because of COVID most of my friends in town went home. I have a full-time job so I couldn't. My mom, as a birthday present, said she'd take me shopping when I got home, as I needed some new clothes for when I graduate. She died before I was able to get home. I'm sorry for your loss. We were playing laser tag. One cousin pushed me into a corner and blasted me for an entire round. In the next round my other cousin bashed my face with a laser gun. They played the remaining rounds without me since I was preoccupied to having my bleeding face tended to. I told my parents beforehand I didn't want to invite them since they were jerks, but they insisted I was overreacting and didn't want to insult the parents by not inviting them. I ducking hate the stories of parents who just invite people the child doesn't want at the party. Fuck that if they feel insulted. It's your birthday and you should choose who comes. My 5th birthday. I was locked in an unfinished concrete basement with the power off for an unknown amount of hours. Why? I had something wrong, but can't remember what. I do remember my mother being beaten trying to get me out. Needless to say my stepfather was a dick. I have a cousin who was born the day after me. Last year my aunt wanted to host the party for his 21st the day before his actual birthday. So I was forced to spend my 21st birthday celebrating a cousin I've never said anything more than hello to, and none of my other relatives who were there acknowledged that that day was my actual birthday. Happy cake day. Had a similar thing happen on my 21st. My best friend decided to have her 21st on my birthday, when her actual birthday was half a month later. We'd spoken about what we were planning on doing, and it said I wanted to have a sit down dinner at a nice restaurant on my birthday and keep it low key. She said she was having a big party, didn't think much more of it, got the invite in the post, saw the date of said party, and put a few years worth of puzzle pieces together in my head, then thought, duck it. I don't need this shit in my life. Declined the invite and haven't spoken to her since. Had some nasty texts arrive leading up to party asking why I wasn't going. How selfish could I be? Can't you put someone else's needs before your own, etc, that kind of thing. Icing on the cake was getting texts on the day of the party, remembering that it's my actual birthday, calling me a selfish bitch. Never replied and cut that whole group of people off as well. Drove to my parents for my birthday and had Indian takeaway and an early night. No friends attended as they were all boozed up at hers. Don't regret a thing. So I mean my birthday was shit, in that I realized my best friend was a selfish piece of self-centered shit, actually is. But it was great, in that I finally let go of that horrible relationship and friend group and moved on. I too had something similar happen. Dude who had beef with me, unidirectional. I wasn't bothered. Threw a party on my birthday. Spent a month talking it up in chat groups. Fully catered. Full open bar. DJ. MC. A team of professional photographers. I mean holy shit. The works. It was in fact a success. Almost 200 people showed up to eat and drink for free. He apparently spent well into mid 5 figures. 20 or so friends showed up to the park to have a picnic, like we always do on My birthday. It was nice birthday. Apparently at the guy's party everyone had decent fun, but it was somewhat awkward because nobody could figure out what the occasion was. When someone commented it was like a wedding without a marriage, he exploded and disappeared. Just like this guy. What a weak ass insecure attempt at a power play by your former friend. This year, everyone forgot. Happy late birthday. Me and my ex-husband had the same birthday. One year I had asked him repeatedly to take the day off so we could go on vacation. He waited till the day of and sent out a email to his boss saying he was sick. I didn't know any of this. I thought he took the day off. We drove about 8 hours to get to a beach resort, and when we checked into the hotel they asked him for a doctor's note. He finally told me, but to not worry. He would just go to a CVS and see a doctor. I told him they would still know he lied. BC, the doctor's note will still have an address of a beach resort town on it. We spent the rest of our birthday driving back home. That really sucks. I'm so sorry that happened to you. My dad told me he couldn't be there for my 16th birthday as his friend, mistress, had booked a holiday for them. He told me this in front of my mother, who was still in denial about the fact he was having an affair. When I got upset he would miss my birthday. They both told me I was a selfish little bitch and the world didn't revolve around me. On my birthday my dad didn't even call. Wait a minute. Your dad had the audacity to call you a selfish little bitch for being upset that he was spending it by having an affair with his mistress? Wow. What a selfish cockface. The father is a selfish bitch projecting his bitchiness onto others. I turned 40 the day Michael Jackson and Farrah Fawcett died. I had to rush my cat to the vet so he would not die of a stroke. Did your cat live? He did for a few more months. I really miss him. Yesterday was my birthday, no joke, and I just woke up sick and had a horrible day. Happy late birthday. Happy cake day yourself. When I was 11 my family had planned a camping trip which would take place during my 12th birthday. So we had the birthday party the week before. On the day of my actual birthday, while I was away on the trip, my house was broken into and my new PlayStation was stolen, along with all my games. My father found out the day of, but didn't want to spoil the rest of the trip, so he waited until we got home to tell me about it, which means he spent half the week hearing me talk about how juiced I was to break in the new games with him knowing they had been stolen, and I was probably gonna be crestfallen over it. Tough day for me, but I can only imagine how upsetting that experience must have been for my father. Mayo. TBH. Your father did a good thing. He didn't want to sour your camping trip experience by admitting it to you. This year was so terrible. I lost my family. The divorce was horrendous. This year for my 30th my husband sprung that he had been contemplating divorce and wanted a separation. For Christmas he abandoned me in another state when I was 5 days out of the hospital, blocked me on the phone, and emailed me for a divorce. 2020 has been a year of unending bullshit. Shit. Sorry to hear that. Hope everything turns out better than it is. My 15th. I just wanted to talk to my bestie, but she was too busy. My mom had just gotten out of the hospital after back surgery and none of my loved ones remembered. I spent the day texting a guy I knew instead. LT. Thanks. It was a really bad day and you made it brighter. I had a birthday in which I invited 30 plus people and only 2 showed up. I still cringe thinking back on it. Had a Halloween party once and no one came, except my neighbor, because I went to her house to see if she was coming or not. My 18th. My parents took me to a Penn State football game, even though they know very well I don't like Penn State or football. So we sat in the freezing rain for hours watching a game I didn't care about. I actually tried to see if I could get my hand so cold that it'd lose all feeling, because that was more entertaining. Maybe if I get frostbitten I can finally get out of here. Apostrophe. I threw a party for my 18th birthday, invited a couple dozen people. One person came. Granted I did it semi last minute, decided to have the party 2 weeks before, but it was still depressing. Edit. To all the people trying to convince me to be mad at my friends back then. You can stop. Most of the people I invited said they had previous commitments. Mostly work because they had jobs, and it was a Saturday night. I'm not stupid. I know that some of them probably just didn't want to come. But I'm also not stupid enough to make assumptions and be petty and angry over something that happened years ago that I can't say I wouldn't have ever done myself. 2 weeks notice is not what I would call last minute. 2 weeks is right on the threshold of plan making. Plus that was when I decided to have a party, not necessarily when everyone got invited, although it was about that time. I don't remember specifically how many, but I know for sure at least half of the people I invited told me they wouldn't be able to make it. I'm not naive enough to think it was all just a matter of scheduling. But I also know that there would have been more people if I'd planned better. 18th. All my friends had graduated the year before, and I spent the day alone. 21. My grandpa died a couple weeks prior. The biggest loss of my life so far, as he was the closest thing I had to a father figure. He helped raise me, and I was home alone all day, because grandma was in a different city, and other relatives were doing their own thing. And I can't drive for medical reasons, and walking somewhere to try and celebrate wasn't really an option, nor was public transportation due to proximity to the holidays. In my mid-teens I didn't have a ton of friends yet and wasn't into parties. Kind of a loner besides my best friend, who had to be somewhere else that night. Had absolutely nothing to do, nothing planned. So my dad took me to see a movie, and that was the first time I got that feeling like I should be doing something else or FOMO. My dad bought me a box of dots at the theater for some reason. I never ate them and brought them back home. I've kept them in my sock drawer ever since. No idea why, but I see it occasionally, and it reminds me of that night long ago. That my family and dad in particular was always there for me. My sister and I are born a year and 8 days apart. So growing up we would have our parties together. I remember my 10th birthday, her 9th. About 15 of her friends came, and only one of the friends I invited came. Don't remember much of the party, but I still remember that feeling of disappointment and sadness. My 18th. I was at college and my family came out to visit me for the weekend. My actual birthday was Sunday, the day they had to leave. But we did some fun stuff the Friday and Saturday. On Sunday morning, my parents sat me down and told me my dog had died 4 days earlier, and they didn't tell me because they didn't want to ruin the weekend. Then they left. So I spent my actual birthday crying by myself in my room. So hard, but I guess they tried their best. They wanted to spend a happy weekend for you, but had to tell you before they left. I'm sorry. The first one after my dad passed in 2015. I'm sorry for your loss. RIP. Obligatory the first one. Apostrophe. Off the top of my head, I remember just wanting to play my Xbox 360 with my family in turns. But my sisters were in a foul mood. So I just cried on the toilet. Not tragic. Just sad. I'm sorry. Must have been a crappy day. That was a shit joke. My cousin got married on my 7th birthday. Everyone forgot about it because of him, and I still resent that because not even my parents remembered. They were busy with the wedding. He got divorced 2 years later. My 21st birthday, I planned a power hour and invited close to 50 friends and sorority sisters. Close to half said they would come, and then all started to back out one by one until I was sitting in the parking lot, alone in my car, crying at midnight on my 21st birthday. All of them pretty much. Every year when I was a kid my dad would call and say happy birthday and told me he got me a birthday present, but it never came. My sister however always got birthday presents from our dad. Then when I turned 13 my own mum and stepdad decided they'd rather go to the car races instead of being with me for my birthday, and did this every year after it until I was around 18. I don't celebrate my birthday anymore, and nor do I care about it. I'm so sorry. Your family sounds awful and you deserve to be treated with care, especially on your birthday. I hope you can develop relationships where you care for them and they care for you, regardless of relation. I was born on 9/11. I was in my mid-20s when the Twin Towers went down. Thankfully I didn't know anyone personally who had been affected by it. I'm on the other coast, but it was a pretty grim day nonetheless. Same. But I was still in primary school. We're kind of a day ahead in Australia, so it was already the 12th by the time it happened and anyone knew about it. I have a very distinct memory of sitting in class, all of us feeling like the world was ending, and seeing this beautiful chalk mural with happy birthday my friends had drawn on the blackboard in the background. On my 16th birthday at 3 AM I woke up with intense stomach pain. I went to the hospital and turned out I had a kidney stone. Missed my driver's license test and literally rescheduled it from the hospital bed. This year, almost everyone forgot, and I got bit by a dog. The day I turned 10, I got my first period. When I was 8, early zeros, my mum saved up and booked this little local party place that I thought looked so cool. Ed always wanted a party there. I was so excited. I hadn't had a birthday party before. I had chosen the disco room for my day. Then the morning of, my mum got a phone call on her Nokia 3210 and was told that the storm that occurred night before had caused electrical damage to the building and that the party couldn't go ahead. Spent the morning outside telling families that it was cancelled. Doesn't sound all that bad really, but at the time, I was devastated. Probably my 5th birthday when I got a bloody horse skull. Just imagine being your dad and saying, you know what? I'm going to give my 5-year-old a dead horse head. What can go wrong? Oh, it wasn't my dad. It was my grandma. Woke up to my brother coming downstairs telling me to get the duck up. I passed out on the couch, but it was our apartment. He walked out the door, and I didn't see him until 6 that day. Got myself up and forgot it was my birthday for a couple minutes. My other roommate woke up, saw me on the couch, gave me a side eye like I ducked his mom, and got dressed for work without a word. That day I sat there and thought to myself, man, did I do something to piss them off? Question mark. Did I do something while I was drunk? Question mark. No, I didn't do anything to them. 9 PM rolls around and my 17 years old sister and her friend show up and wish me happy birthday, best part of the day, because they meant it, and only then did my brother and roommate give me a oh yeah, happy birthday. Never wanted to stop existing more than I did that day. No calls from my mom or messages from my grandparents. Not a single message on social media. The only thing I got was $5 from my brother for being able to buy him alcohol. I really wish I felt loved by others more often. It was my 18th. My dad was kind of eccentric and months earlier brought home a chick for my little sister. It turned out to be a rooster. Big and ornery. We had a big property, but he liked to roam. Well, that afternoon after school, he was walking around, and I happened to notice him at the moment he was run over by a truck. I wasn't too attached to him, but that's not something anyone should see. I knew my sister would lose her shit, so I grabbed a shovel, scraped him up and buried him. Then, my mom, who was semi-estranged, came to take me out for a birthday dinner. I broke the news to my sis about the bird, and she took it like a champ. But then my mom started harping on my dad for being crazy and doing shot like bringing home roosters. That being why she left, etc. Just then the waitress came by to get our order. She was really pretty and I was 18. So I noticed. But I wasn't ready to order. So I said as much. Only, my mom was ready to get going. So she told me to figure it out. I huffed and puffed under my breath and my mom looked up at the waitress and said, "Oh, don't mind him. His chicken just died." I don't know if the waitress made a face. I was unable to lift my head from embarrassment. Today, actually, I was used by my friends visiting town to drive them around all weekend, which prevented me from partying. Said they were going make it up to me and throw a cookout at my house today so I could party. Waited all day to hear back from them and it didn't happen. Girlfriend came over, then proceeded to do schoolwork for the classroom she teaches and leaves after an hour to go to sleep since she has to get up early. Didn't get me a card or anything. Barely said a sentence to me while I watched the movie she picked out and ate the food I got us. Today I realize there are a lot of people close to me who take advantage of my eagerness to help. I'm the guy who goes all out on others' birthdays. Today really hurt. Here, have a virtual hug. I had a birthday the day of the fundamentals of engineering exam. It basically takes all day and all my friends took it as well. No one wants to do anything afterwards, so no celebration or party or cake or anything for me. The next year I was at officer candidate school to join the Navy. Obviously I didn't get to celebrate that year either. So my worst 2 in a row. 16th birthday. It was on a Sunday. My mother woke me up to go to church with her, but didn't give me enough times to get ready. My hair was a greasy knotted mess. She proceeded to tell everyone she ran into that I hadn't gotten the shower. I had an event I was a volunteer for right after church, followed by a small dinner with a few friends. The whole day just would have been better if I would have showered. It was nothing like the magical sweet 16s in movies. My then husband and I were separated. I had picked up a second job waiting tables nights and he came by the restaurant the night before my birthday and said he had something for me and wanted to put it in my truck. So I gave him the keys. I thought maybe it was just something I'd left at the house. When I got in my truck at the end of my shift I couldn't believe it. He had left me a gorgeous bouquet of flowers, a bottle of my favorite perfume and a gift card to a store I liked. I certainly wasn't expecting any of that. He wants to get back together, I thought. A few days later he told me that he was happy living alone and did not love me anymore. I think he was trying to let me down easy with all the gifts. 2010. My boyfriend broke up with me, rendering me homeless overnight. I slept on a park bench that night. Mind you, my birthday is March 5th. My parents forgot that year to boot. 28th birthday because my wisdom teeth were removed that day. Happy cake day. Please click subscribe if you enjoyed this video.